will request.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Camille Kate Lebrando, your moderator for today. Before we officially start today's webinar, here are some important reminders. Kindly turn off your camera for a better experience. So please mute your for a of the speakers. If you have questions, kindly type them in the chat box and we will entertain them during the open forum after each speaker is done. Lastly, sit back, relax, and together, let us listen to our speakers. Once again, maayong hapon sa inyong tanan. Kumusta? How are you doing so far? Ready na ba mo sa online classes this coming October? Have you prepared yourself as we transition to online learning? If no, parihan ako, then they'll help us with knowing the expectations, apprehensions, and preparations for online classes. So, if ready na jud kayo mo sa online classes, still speaker. So our first speaker is a grade 7 representative. She is a former grade 7 class president and class officer. Everyone, let us welcome our first speaker, Ms. Shan Angela Laos.
Good afternoon, everyone. Pandra ba ko ninyo?
Yes, loud and clear, Shan.
Okay, sige. Kanang sorry. Makita rin ninyo ako ang slide? Okay, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. I am Shana Laos. I'm an incoming grade 10 student of UP High School, Cebu. And today, I'm going to share with you my thoughts, expectations, and preparations for the upcoming school year. Hopefully, this gives you an idea kung unsay mahitabo this coming school year, and this will also help you sa preparations ninyo for the school year. Now, I apologize daan if ma-delayed gamay ang ako ang slides, pero don't worry, ang slides na ko kay keywords raman ang naa. So, if maminaw mo, hopefully na may makuha. So first, let's start. What are my thoughts about the upcoming school year? Well, honestly, I'm clueless. The future is unpredictable and anything could happen. Wala pa ko ka-try og online school and never in my life have I imagined nga mag-online school ko one day. Despite yan sa online school, wala sa ko kahibaw unsay mga topics na mo next school year, especially sa new subjects like elective and CWPS and so on. Now, kung sad, ang mga subjects na performance-based like PE, unsa may buhaton sa teacher para ma-assess ka? Is it possible nga dyan og TikTok o nga isend na to ang video niya? And unsa-unsad ang mga siaw na to buha ang data, especially kag tong mga tawo nga kinahanglan mo interview og mga habal-habal drivers. Kinahanglan ba nila sa habal-habal drivers? And since I am clueless, this led me to being scared. A lot of things could go wrong. And what I mean by things is, first, ato ang internet. We live in the Philippines where the internet is very expensive and very bad quality. So it is possible nga in the middle of a Zoom class, kay mukalit kawala ang internet. Unya, kuansad, let's say for example, nag-cram ka sa middle of their online classes, kay suguon na sila kalit sa ilahang mga parents. Now, we don't want that to happen, di ba? Kay maguba inyong focus for the online class. And then, unlike face-to-face classes, it's not kay question. Kay, dali ra nimo mapangutana dayon, kay you can simply raise your hand, ask your question, and the teacher will answer it. Now, sa Zoom classes manggod, pwede nga dili tag doon sa imuhang teacher ang imuhang raise hand or dili makit-an sa imuhang teacher. So, ang tendency is dili ma-answer ang imuhang question, maglibog for the rest of the discussion period, and then what if niingon ka nga, I will PM na lang my teacher, unya dili mo friend, dili niya matubag dayon. Or nakalimot na hinuon ka sa imuhang question. So, alkansi ka ana, di ba? And then, for students like me said, na who loves to participate in classes, unsaon man na mag-participate in class, na permit man so affected amo ang grades ana. And I heard said from other schools, nga gibugbog sad sila og assignments sa ilahang teachers. Like, one friend of mine shared na for a week, nakakurot siya og usa ka intermediate pad paper for a week's worth of module. 1 week ra na ha, and honestly, who likes assignments, diba? But despite being scared, I'm also excited because this will be a new experience for us. And if you're a fan of homework, if mas dako ka grado sa assignments kaysa test, then this will be your year. Kay expected jud na medyo mas daghan ang ato ang assignments this year. Og dili na ta kinahanglan mo waste of 2 to 4 hours commute from school to house and vice versa. And if I'm not mistaken, according to Secretary Briones last Monday, nga i-cancel niya ang periodical exam kay para wala day cheating. Well, if mas ganahan ka og projects o group work compared sa exams, then mo benefit imuhang grade ani. But honestly, I doubt na i-cancel nila ang periodical exams because our teachers are very smart. They will find ways on how to assess us and at the same time make sure na dili ta mag-cheating. So what are my expectations for the upcoming school year? First of all, technology will be our friend. Everything will be done online because we have to practice social distancing gihapon. So discussion boards, ang ato ang gamiton nga discussion board for the rest of the school year will be Google Classroom. Kay ito nila i-post sa Google Classroom, i-post sa ato ang mga teachers ang reading materials nato, videos, project guides, assignments, etc. for us to work on. And classes and synchronous classes will be done on Zoom. What do I mean by synchronous classes? Synchronous classes is kanang mag-meet ang teachers ug students real time. So, niana sila nga mogamit no, they prefer using Zoom kay mas better daw og features and mas better daw ang audio quality. Now, despite technology being our friend,
I think sanda na sad mo sa inyong advisor o class schedule, di ba? So, if tanaw ninyo ang time, considering na mauni ang time nato inig sugod October 5, I think I should say na i-change na nato inahinay ang ato ang sleeping schedule. Kay sure ko na kadong quarantine daghan jud kay nabago og sleeping schedule, like gabi na sila mata, nocturnal na kay sila tapos buntag na sila matulog. And I understand kay sa akong case mas gusto jud ang internet sa mong balay if kadlawon og gabi. Pero with this schedule, considering na mauna ni atong schedule inig since inig October 5, kay I think dapat na jud nato i-change ang atong sleeping schedule in a way na makamata ta early para makaabot ta ani na 7:25 na time. So additionally, nakoy laing tip. I don't think necessary jud ni, pero I think helpful kaayo if ever i-condition na ninyo yung self sa online classes na set up. Sa pamaagi na, maayo mag-topics sa inyong mga ate ug kuya, pwede sa amo grade 12, nya anam-anamon ninyo og tuon. Wala ko ga-promote alone sa advanced studying, pero ang ako diyang gi-promote is dako ka nigtabang para maanad mo sa online classes na set up. Wherein magtrabaho mo sa iyong workspace, sa inyong balay mo moskila, tapos magamit mo sa inyong gadgets inig klase. So, additional di aning schedule di ay, ingat ang mga advisor na dili jud permin mag-synchronous classes. So, bali gibuhatan nila ng schedule para gay makatabang nato na i-divide ang atong class atong time. So, like for example, kanina time kay dapat mag-yums di ko ani. Sunod kay mag-elective former ganig pampatabang sa ato og alat sa atong time kung when ta dapat magtuon ani na subjects, when magtuon sa pika sa subjects. Tapos, last is make sure all your needs are prepared before classes start. So, it's obvious to say naman na it's always better to be prepared. So, aside sa dili na ka magproblema na klase nimo, if prepared na kadaan before classes, mas i-condition nimo ang imong mind na hapit na jud ang klase. So, mao na akong mga preparations na pwede ninyong buhaton. Tapos, kanina section is tips for online classes. So, akong tip number 1 is define your schedule the night before the class. Important kaayo ni para once mamata na ka, dire-diretso na lang imong pagbuhat sa mga tasks ug makasave sa kag time the next day. Compared anang ugma pa ka magbuhat sa imong schedule, so makuhaan imong time tomorrow. In making your schedule, I think you should follow the third habit of 7 habits of highly effective people. So, ang third habit is put first things first. So, sa senior high ni, specifically jud na kuan. There are subjects man good na katong ingon nga ganihan na wala pa ninyo na encounter pag junior high school. And there are also some subjects na murag siya amalgamation sa lessons niyo pag junior high pero gi-level up. So, ang akong advice inyo is that you focus studying on the subjects na wala pa jud mo'y alamag. Like atong calculus, accounting, kay atong manggungkuan o mga subjects na naana mo'y alamag ba, like ako lang yung pag junior high. More ganig once magtuon mo kay makaingon na, ay, naka-remember ko, bitod naman yung Miss Chera sa amo pag grade 8. And kaysa compared atong subjects na wala jud mo'y alamag kung unsa to siya about. Tapos, take note, sa senior high school, di siya same sa junior high school, na lahi-lahi og units. Like, example, atong pag junior high na to kay, mas dako ang math og science, tapos next kay English ug Filipino, and so on. Sa senior high school, equal na og tanan og units. So, bali, equal na ang Filipino sa arts, ang arts equal na sa math, ang math equal na sa science, tanan equal except sa PE. So, mo na akong giingon ninyo na dapat i-allot ninyo og dako na time ang pagtuon sa mga subjects na wala mo'y alamag. Tapos, second is consume your data wisely. So, It is very necessary to consume your data wisely, especially sa mga tao na naaray limited data connection. So, mga niya kong tips sa mga um, para pag-consume og data wisely. So first, di ba, niana mo ko ganihan na atoy Google Classroom or any platform na gamiton as communication sa inyong teachers sa inyo ha. So first, once mahuman nag-download imong teachers sa tanan ninyong reading materials, i-download ay pag human nag-post kay i-download na siya after. Tapos after pag-download nimo, kay i-disconnect imong gadget from the internet. Tapos third, kay basahon na nimo start ang inyong reading materials. So instead na magbasa ka, like while tunga-tunga magbasa ka kay mag-alt tab ka nya, mag-search ka sa Google, I think bati na siya na idea. So you do is what you do is kanang you list down all the things you need to search. So once you're done reading, dira na ka masindot mo search ana kay if ever manggod ka nang tunga-tunga mo search, chances are, pwede mo ma-distract, like mag-alt tab mo niya, ay, nani-text sa kuan, ay, nani-chat sa messenger, ay, nani-tweet, ay, nani-post sa Facebook. So, mas dali mo ma-distract, tapos ma-disrupt inyong momentum. Compared anang kausahon na ninyo search, mas makasave pa mo data, mas stay away pa mo sa distractions. So, next na kong tip is, third, always stay updated in your class. So, don't be too complacent once mahuman na mo sa inyong task. Kay pwede man good na wa ka kabantay ba na naapa daytoy task na gi-post ang imong teacher tapos wala ka buhat ato pero nahuman na ka sa uban. So mabuhaton na lang kay mag-chill-chill lang ka sa balay nya wa ka ba na imong mga classmates nag-struggle dig buhat ato na part sa task. Tapos after is akong tip kay don't be reluctant in approaching your teachers. I think important kayo ni. Kay our teachers are exerting their best in teaching us during this pandemic. However, as students, it is our responsibility na reach out nila whenever we have questions, clarifications, or concerns. And I think a lot of students kay maawal mo approach sa teacher kapag ganing pag-physical classes maawaw na sila, how much more karong online classes. I know now we are dealing with distance learning, pero let us not make this a barrier in reaching them out. Tapos, after nako anang third is, fourth nako na tip is gain some motivation. So as what I've said earlier, mas mag-require ang online classes of high-level self-motivation as well as self-discipline. So with that, I know na masisod jud prolong ang determination with this kind of setup and sa mga happenings sa palibot. However, when you study, mo dyan akong tip, don't just study for the sake of studying. So, kanin siya kay take note sa din ninyo. Ang second habits is 7 habits of highly effective people. Begin with the end in mind. So, whenever you study, think of the reasons why you are studying in a bigger picture. Kaya if ever shallow na gani imong reason na magtuon ka, for example, magtuon ko kay required sa mong teacher, chances are dali ra kayo ka mawadan og will magpadayon og tuon. So for you to be motivated in a long-term manner during these online classes, always be reminded of your personal reasons and your aspirations as well. So last na ko na tip, I think this is the most essential one. You always prioritize your mental health. Let us expect that these online classes will stress us all the way, but please do not forget to take a rest every once in a while. So, lisod kayo na magbuhat kasi mong fast food na drain kayo yung mga utok. So, always prioritize your mental health because having a sound mind will help you do your tasks efficiently. So, pwede ka mag-allot of time for me time. Pwede sad ka mag-allot of time to interact with your friends. Pero kanina time kaya sa pasobraan na malimtan na nimo ang pagtuon. In this way, mapalayo nimo or ma-divert nimo ang imong mind away from your academic responsibilities temporarily. So, mga to ang ako ang mga tips. And to end my presentation, I'd like to share to you my favorite quote. Charot. Abraham Lincoln said, "Great things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle." And kilid anak kay naay photo sa sablay. Sa mga new students, wala mo kawaon sa sablay. Ang sablay kay mao na siya ang ihatag sa inyo ha once more siyang sash ihatag na sa inyo ha once maka-graduate mo og UP. So if nakita ang taon nimo na naa kay sablay makaingon siya ay UP graduate na siya. So manay ti mailhan sa mga mag-graduate sa UP. So before ta magsablay kabaw man ta na kinahanglan sa nato i-finish ang atong high school tapos magkuha tag atong own sablito. So ang sablito kay mao na siya ang mini version or high school version sa sablay. So um I know that this pandemic is stressing all of us, and it is okay na not to feel okay, but let us always take tomorrow as a new start. So magtiis-tiis lang sa atas atong struggles, this online classes, and pray for a vaccine to come so that we can have physical classes already. So let us hope for a better tomorrow. Always stay safe in your homes and padayon estilar ng bayan.
Thank you so much, Miss Alex. I have observed no na ubay-ubay pod ang new students na naa dere. So I hope you listen, especially sa incoming grade 11 students kay i-differentiate ni Alex ang junior high and senior high in terms sa classes. And thank you, Sad Alex, for giving us a glimpse on how the synchronous and asynchronous classes would go. And according sa speakers so far, mas lisod jud ang online classes, but we must discipline ourselves and prepare physically, mentally, as we adjust to this kind of learning. So, at this juncture, mag-open forum na sa no? So, if you have questions, suggestions, type
Ask
them
mo
in
guys.
the chat box. Yes, I'm magkaawaw, guys.
Dili ra ko mamaak. Bitaw guys, ask mo guys if na may questions about senior high school or pwede sad mga answers ako sa questions niyo regarding junior high. Ask mo guys.
Sa mga new students, basig na amoy mga questions.
Oh, basta ganahan mo mangutana mo, ay basta ganahan mo mangutana na. Ate, unsa na ko pagkabaw kung unsa na track akong piliyon sa grade 11 o di ba ako na nangutana? I-type ninyo ganahan mo mangutana. Wala bang grade 10 dyan? Ay, grade 11? James, I cannot answer that question because I'm not a faculty member. Nailang questions. Kaning pagkuha ninyo track ninyo ika-grade 11 kay first jud kay mag-base din siya sa grades sa grade 10 sa mga mupadayo if yupihay mo nag junior high school tas mupadayo mo senior if ever STEM ka kay dapat ang imuhang math ug science kay 85 matingali. Pero aside from grades sa part, kay sa imuha na part lang mismo sa mong self, kay you need to assess if unsa jud ang imuhang ganahan kwaon in college. So, ayaw lang mag-think na ay feel ko gamay ko grado ka so dili ko dapat mag-STEM. Kay what if ganahan jud ka mag-engineer nga lain sad kay mag-ABM yung ka, di ba? So, dapat way nimo sa imong kagalingon na kaya ba kaya nako ang STEM? Kaya ang STEM ba kay more on the sciences ug math na part. Kaya ba kaya ni nako ang ABM Yums? Ang ABM Yums ba kay more on accounting, more og basa-basa sa social studies, etc. So anaon ninyo pag assess or pagkabaw kung unsa jud na track ang para sa inyo ha. Ate, what if nag-STEM ko pero later on naka-realize ganahan ko mag-Yums ABM? Sana nako. Actually, thank you for that question, Erica. If ever example ha, nag-ABM Yums ko, kay lagi gamay akong grado, pag grade 10, dili siya masud sa STEM. Tapos, tunga-tunga sa first semester, kay nasuya ko sa akong mga STEM classmates, nag-answer sila mga chemistry na questions, ganahan ko chemistry. So, imong pwede buhaton is, ika-second semester enrollment, kay apply ka, like mo-shift ka, na ang term, mo-shift ka o lain na strand. So, ang tawag na mo atong mga dili pure STEM or ABMUs kay mga hybrid. Kay bali pag first sem nila, STEM sila, ya pag second sem nila hangtod grade 12 nila kay ABMUs and so on. So kani ay akong tip jud important kayo. Isayangan jud ko sa akong mga classmates na ABMUm sila tapos nibalin sila STEM kay if ever man good ABMUms mo tapos mag-STEM mo ikaw second sem dili mo makatik sa calculus and ang calculus kaba mo fundamental kay na siya sa mga STEM people. So mao na siya. Ngano giusa nilang ABM og yums? I cannot answer that. I-ask imong mama siya. So napay laing questions. Wala na mga bibi. How to find motivation? Si Crush joke. Ang motivation kay kuan, nakata kong giingon ninyo ganiha. Kanang long term jud or kanang in a bigger picture jud mo tan-aw whenever magtuon mo. Kay if ever katong akong giingon ganiha lagi na, ever magtuon ko kem kay ninyo man si Sir Sia na magtuon ko. If ever ka na ara kay dali ra kay kakapuyon ana dali ra kay ka mawadan og motivation. So dapat anang lalom jud kay kaganang gihugutan para makakuha ka high grades, para matap ka, yan anao na siya. Ate Alex, pwede mo doon mo padabang answer og math problems? Sure, if na ko'y time, pwede ra jud. How to know that I am learning and not just passing requirements, and how to know if it's long-term learning or short-term. Wow, James, what a nice question. Um, ang kuan ning is learning ka kay kani day ako ikuan if mag-study mo ba kay ayaw mo pag-memorize sa notes ninyo kay if mag-memorize mo good kay pwede ra jud kayo na after a grading period kay malimtan na to ninyo inyong gitun-an. So what you should do if magtuon mo kay kanang i-digest ninyo kung unsa jud ang general thought ana na subject ana lesson. Like for memorize mo example, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. So din naa na. So dapat sabto ninyo na mitochondria di kay siya mo produce og ATP. So mao na energy ang usa ka cell. So yan na na siya pag tuon guys. Synchronous kay kung ano siya, bali from the term itself, synchronize. So, bali, kamuta na sa iyong klase, if available mo, magdungan mo o kanang klase via Google Meet. So, parin ani ba, set up webinar niya. Ako, magtudlo ko ninyo, magsuwat ko diri sa ko laptop, niya ka mo, mamina mo na ako, matanaw mo na ako. So, inana na siya niya. Ang asynchronous mo to individual so kanang inyo hamong pace sa pag-study. So naay mga lessons na i-post yung teacher na kamo na bahala when mo mag-study morning, buntag, hapon morning, hapon, or gabi, nara dyan na niya. Kanang mga grouping sad kay, actually, na mga ubang groups na ilarang iingon lang ilahang naa sa ilang chart. So, wala rin gamit, ito, ibasa na lang nato. So, inana na siya guys, if ever magtudlo mo or mag-study mo, dapat ang general thought sa lesson ng inyong hangton on. Dili jud ang word by word or in toto na pag-memorize. Tina ko, lapas ako 10 minutes. Sakto ba?
Murag na pay time Lex. Pero
Kasi pa asa man ka Mel?
ay wala. If na pay questions then pwede pa i-entertain.
Na yan sa unyang kita galing COI. Wala ko sure anak pero sure ko online ni siya na stuff like siguro more on Google Forms and something. Di ko sure unsa ako na mo sa STEM.
Hey Alex, natay question sa FB Live. Kanang, Ate Alex,
Ano
pwede
yan?
mga outline sa grade 11 lessons?
Okay lang mo, send ko. Asa na ko i-send? There is a Tambuli. Siguro sa organizer na ko i-send ang outline sa grade 11 lessons. Sure, no problem. Wala akong magawa dito sa bahay. Napay yung questions. Nagkanan yung questions guys. Sorry, I love it. Ito, char. Matokontiya na siya sa cell para mo malihok ang cell, para mo move ang cell, para mo na siya energy para mo-produce og mga things na iyang i-produce. Char. Napay lain. Wala na. Yay! Wag yun. Hindi ko kakitaan sa value sa X. Wala na may question, guys. Ang mga new students, ano say how about remote learning? Ang remote learning, kay mo na siya ang setup sa to kasi. Bali, ang remote learning, i-divide na siya into two types of learning. So, na asynchronous o synchronous. So, bali, mo na siya ang remote learning. So, i-cover na yung asynchronous o synchronous na learning. Bali, remote learning ang tawag anak, di man siya matawag jud na online learning good kay dili man ta pure ga online. Di sad siya modular kay dili sa ta pure modular or like pure na kita ra. So bali meron siya in between sa duha ka type sa learning. So grabe uy. Sana bag math questions. Wala na mo pangutana new students kay ang mga taga-UP High kay mga math questions naman nila gipangutana. Taken for granted joke.
Okay, so
Wala na
Murag,
may
wala
lain
naman
question.
siguro yung questions.
Okay, thank you. Yay.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you,
So
Zach.
now let's proceed to the third speaker, our last but not the least speaker. So let me introduce her. She is a consistent honor student. She graduated with high honors and received a special award in English and Filipino. She is also the grand winner in the Inner Wheel Clubs of the Philippines Ako Ay Filipino contest. She ranked third place in the sports riding competition during the division school's press conference and the regional school's press conference. She also ranked first place in the UPKRC essay writing contest. Everyone, let us welcome our last speaker, Ms. Renadette Socahel.
Yay! Hello, guys. Wait, please give me a moment to set up my presentation lang. Okay, just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, so before I start, nag-data rabi ako, guys. So can you please confirm if you guys could hear me clearly and see my PPT as well? Hello, guys? Camille?
Yes, we can see it. Madunggan na sad kate.
Salamat sa pagtubag. Okay, kay lisod kayo ang way mo tubag, no? Ikaw ra isa. So, all right, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I am Renadette Socahel, a graduate and currently a first-year college student in UP Visayas, taking. And then this afternoon, I will be sharing to you my experience and thoughts on online classes. So kabaw naman jud ta that this is the new normal in education. So I hope nga mohatag na ninyo akong talk o glimpse of how online classes work. So, here is an overview of what I'll be presenting today. By the way, I got the template for my slides from Canva. So, share ko lang kay no plagiarism. Plagiarism is a no-no in UP. Do not copy or take other people's works without citing them. Diba, UP High? Anyway, first, I will tell you a brief background on my first week of online classes, just so you know where I'm coming from or asa may naghugot si Ate Ren karon. And then second, I will lay out the pros and cons of online classes solely based on my experience. Para na mo idea on what to expect when you start your classes in October so that as early as now, you're aware already and you have the time to determine how you will be able to cope with the whole setup. So, mubalik mo sa mga tips nga gihatag ni Alex ug ni Shana ganina, pwede to ninyo ang buhaton if maka-determine na mo unsaon ni nga whole setup. And lastly, I would like to share some tips to you on how to adjust or cope with the struggles of online classes. And additionally, pa bonus, ganern, I would also like to share tips on how to survive kunuhay in UP High since alumna naman ko. So, let's start. Last week, September 10, that was a Thursday, our classes in college officially started. Although wala pa lectures and mostly just orientations on how the classes will be held. So, kani siya screenshots, mani siya mga orientations nga akong gi-attendan last week. So, Thursday and Friday. And then, bisag orientations lang last week, na mga professors and teachers nga ni-approach na namo, ni-reach out, ni-contact through Facebook, Messenger, Gmail, now that we have UP mails na. So, kamo guys, make sure to have access on your UP mails. Then, Google Groups pod, and a virtual learning environment, specifically a website we call UPV LMS, or University of the Philippines Learning Management System. So, kaning nga website ari mag-post tanang professors namo, tanan jud professors sa ilang instructions o sa ilang course packs. And I'd like to further expound on that because basin day ang UP High maging ani po nasan sila po website ingana. So at least ma-briefing na mo karon pa lang daan. So here is a screenshot of what the website looks like. Naami individual nga accounts ana like amua lang yung own account walay share. And according to upv.edu.ph, on UPV's learning management system, it is UPV's virtual learning environment daw, an online system to deliver and manage courses. It is a Moodle-based e-learning platform. Ang kaning Moodle kay app ni siya, customized to the needs of students and faculty. So it was developed to facilitate and support remote learning in UPV. So explain naman ni Alex kanina unsa nang remote learning, di ba? So we could also get the mobile app of UPV LMS through Moodle. And it looks something like this. So tanatan na mo guys, basin maging ani jud ang UP High, di ba? And then this week is what I considered na jud the official, like really official start of classes. Kay we met with our professors already via Zoom meetings, like nag-video call na jud mi nga na. Then some of them kay na nagipanghatag ng mga readings and activities. So here are screenshots of Zoom meeting announcements since ingnan man mi nga we're not allowed to take pictures or screenshots daw during the meeting. So mana, ingana ang itsura sa announcement, gikan ni siya sa website kung na sila'y announce, ingani ang itsura. So the question now is, what is our setup for this? How did we make things work? So, saon man jud pag-work ang mga bagay-bagay, guys? And I'm gonna give you the answer. So UPV's modes of learning are divided into two categories. Pares siya sa giingon ni Alex ganina, synchronous, where we attend live online classes that are conducted in real time, meaning ang students o ang teachers like pariha ani nga webinar in the same session and na ay fixed time. And the other one is asynchronous, so it's just the opposite. Reading materials, recorded lectures, tests, and homeworks are provided that can be accessed at any time during a specific period as outlined by our teachers. So, example, mo upload sila ani nga kanang module. Kani siya nga module tibuok ni para ni siya sa tibuok nga week. So inyo ning basahon dapat by the end of the week human na mo. So ing ana ang asynchronous. But just yesterday, like kahapon lang jud, one of my professors explained the difference between online classes and remote learning. So, na-mention na sad ni Alex ganina, but to further expound lang jud, kay ang gitry og adapt sa UPV is remote learning. And I guess the same siya sa tibuok UP system. So, most probably mag-inani sad ang UP High. So, take note. When you say online classes, there will really be class discussions through online means such as Zoom, Google Meet, or messenger call. So meaning magklase jud mo ana like magatubang lang kas monitor while the teacher is discussing, and other schools are actually doing that. So naa jud mga ana guys. And then remote learning on the other hand, no more online class discussions. So dili na magklase-klase online, dili maging ani. So dili magklase nya bali yahay na jud na siya. Responsibility na sa student ang pagbasa o paghuman sa course packs within the deadline since they will send study guides as well. And then the purpose of Zoom meetings na lang kay will just be for consultations, forums, or if na clarification. So dili jud ingon nga from the beginning to the end sa lesson i-explain ta na ni ma'am og ni sir, dili ing ana ang remote learning. Bale the teachers will just guide us. So naalay oras nga mo mag-meet mo online para mo explain sila kung unsa ni siya or if na mo clarification. So sa UPV ing ana daw ang pamaagi karon. Not the one we expected nga online classes jud kay nagtubaya sa jud nga online classes jud manang hassle kay siya sa ulo. And I think there's a very high probability that UP High would do the same as well. So I hope you guys would keep listening. Now, a while ago, I told you about UPV LMS, our virtual learning website. So these are the things that we could do in the LMS. But basically, that is where the professors would post their announcements, instructions, and course packs for the class. And then, so kani siya mangibutang diri mga features na siya sa website. So whenever they would require us to attend the class via Zoom meetings, they would inform us like days before the schedule and post the details on the website. Although naiuban nila, they would utilize Facebook groups, Gmails, and even text messages, pero kanijong UPV LMS ang main channel sa ilang mga announcements. So during live meetings, I would usually prepare for an hour before the schedule. Like, mumata dyan kong example, alas 8 among klase, mumata dyan kong alas 6, anak guys, kay aside sa kanang ma-exercise ko, nuhay ko, ganahan ko, i-check if ready na ba dyan ko for the klase. So, since I rely on mobile data connection, I have to make some sort of trial run to check how's my connection doing. So, trial run, check. When kag trial run, mura ganig, it kanang i-try nimo or like, o i-try, makigbisi ka sa uban, nga na. So, that's what I do. I would ask my siblings or my friends who are online to video call me just so I could check if my data reception is strong. Because if buhaton ko na minutes before the meeting, there's a high tendency nga slow akong connection and ma-disconnect ko from the meeting, causing me to miss some points of the discussion, which I do not like to happen. So if my connection is slow during the trial run, naiuba nang nangayo ani nga tips ni Shana. Dili ko kanang expert ani, but if mahitabo na ko, I would go outside the house, try rebooting my phone or turning off and on again my data. So, maguba na lang akong cellphone og on-off sa akong data, guys. Ako dyan ang buhaton, basta lang kay paspas akong internet. So, does it really help? For me, yes. Makatabang siya na ako, guys. Kay, moto, di ko expert, pero the longer time that I use my data, like, nag-on ko sang data ron, kadugayan gani, the longer time, kay, mo better ang signal reception niya. So, mupaspas ra akong internet kadugayan. So, yes, you might want to try that hack, but dili assure nga ka nang kuan effective jud ni siya kay ana si Ate Ren. Inyo pa lang kung anon no ha, just suggestion. So anyway, that's how we go with the synchronous setup. Now for the asynchronous, it's still the UPV LMS that we use as the main channel. So our teachers would upload the materials and files for the course there. They would give us instructions and a deadline on when we should complete reading the course pack. So yung ani siya og now guys, like dapat by Saturday kanang nahuman na nako basa ang kaninga module, hantod karon wa pa jud koy nasugdan. And then as for the outputs and assignments, UPVLMS gihapon among gamiton. So there's a feature of the website for submission. It allows us to upload files and make messages to our professors. So as you can see ari sa photo na I add submission nga button. So ara mi mo submit guys. And inani siya og now inig-click ato nga button. So that's where you as yang giingon, you can drag and drop files here to add them. So ara na mo i-send among submissions. And I guess that's pretty much it. I'm sorry if that's not a brief one, but I hope I explained everything to you clearly. So moving on, what are the pros and cons from my online class experience? Please take note nga kung unsay tinuod para nako, pwede sa dili siya pwede dili siya tinuod para ninyo. So I'll start with the pros. One, submission of outputs is easy because you just need to upload the files and click on the submit button. Nga na gani, unlike in physical classes, hard copies are usually required such as printed papers, essays, projects. So there are less or no printing costs. But of course, not everyone has a privilege of owning gadgets where you can easily encode your works. So if you're just using your phones, typing and submitting your outputs can be a struggle. Next is the freedom to complete lessons anytime before the deadline. So, gi-explain man ganina, di ba, nga mohatag rin sila deadline kung kanus dapat ninyo mahuman og basa ang course packs. Nya ako, pa na sugdan karon. As for me, kani siya, gi-pro na ako siya kay, it gives me the ability to fit my schedule into other things that I want to do. So, magklase ko pero at the same time na ako'y ganahang buhaton nga na like ako nag-work sad ko as freelance writer and at the same time kabaw ko some of you guys saw my posts. I also do online selling of Korean food. So palit niyo mo guys if you want. And then tungod sa aning online classes, somehow makabuhat ko ani nga mga activities without sacrificing sad my time or my hours for my school tasks. Although na mga deadlines, but my class schedule becomes much easier to like adapt to my life schedule unlike sa physical classes na whole day na jud ka sa eskwelahan. So if you want to do other things like fangirling on K-drama or kanang mga opas, you can maybe feel yung advantage ni siya ang kaning online classes. Or nasa kay choice nga kanang mag-una-una o basa sa inyong course packs. For the third bullet, I think this is true to students like me nga who needs to live away from home. Like, kailangan sila mag-dorms, mag-boarding house, kay layo ang balay sa eskwelahan. So, since we only have to stay at home for now for the online classes, there are definitely lesser costs like for transportation, sa allowances, and for the rents. So, inga na siya, mas advantage na siya kay gamay pa kayo o gasto karon. And I think that's all that I see as pros of online classes. And now for the cons, the first bullet is the most common no for the online kanang cons sa online classes. Lack of access to stable internet connection and gadget. So like what I mentioned a while ago, I only use mobile data because I haven't received updates yet regarding our Wi-Fi application. And then nami laptop, but it's gonna be hard kay tulo mi kabok magsuon ang magtabang. So if ever magdunga-dunga na mong klase, I don't know what will happen since ako pa man na nagklase karon so maglisto jud mi ani. So if you're like me nga T-Mobile data, you would agree that it is very challenging to have a stable internet connection, especially if the network that you are using has a slow performance in your area. So suggestion, I know na yung mga mobile networks nga dakog large data allocations, nya barato ra, but I think it would be better if you switch to a network that works well in your area. And then another one in the list of cons is the ineffectiveness of the virtual learning system. Di ba gipakita ta mo sa LMS ganina katong website? Yes, it has a simple and easy to navigate features, no? Like simple lang jud dili kanang katag, dili gubot, dili sa updates from our professors. So since kanang website man siya nga gi-publish, of course you can only access it through online. And I think that is not efficient because of course bullet number 1, lack of access to stable internet connection and gadget. And although there's a mobile app, it doesn't have notification settings. So, dili siya mo-notify kung may announcements ang professor. So, dapat mo adto jud ka sa app or mo check jud ka sa site kung kanang taga-klase na ninyo kay what if nagklase na sila pero natug pa di ka kay wala ka kita sa kuan update. So, yung ana siya. So, kamo pohon i-klase ninyo, if you can, you suggest to your teachers if they could send you text messages instead of online chats. Like, naman ni professor nga mo message siya namo through kanang phone text messages niya. Mingon siya sa update. So, mo suggest mo sa inyong teachers ingana if na sila instructions or announcements para makahibaw jud mo sa kandagan sa inyong lessons. Next is the difficulty in peer interaction. This is true when there are group projects. You guys mentioned group projects a while ago. Yes, it's gonna be hard karong online classes. And then as for me, I am not familiar yet with the language in Iloilo kay UPV is in Iloilo. So kung magstorya ako mga classmates sa GC, And sometimes di sila kay numdum nga naapa di ay uban dili ka sabot og hiligaynon. It's hard for me to catch up like unsa nilang gistoryaan so magnganga sa jud ko guys na usay kay awkward pod kay if mo chat ko mo try kog chat nila magtuo silang naibog ko nila bisag ganahan na jud ko mangupyo og answers so nga na siya there's difficulty in peer interaction. Next bullet, school tasks pile up. As for me, this week lang na ako'y 3 to 5 outputs or assignments na isubmit on Sunday. Although, this is nothing new to me na like, di na ni bago na ko ang mag-abot pa ng mga buhatonon. At least sa physical classes kay lahi-lahi gani ang deadline sa mga outputs. Like, for example, this week, na akay tulo ka buk assignments ipass but lahi-lahi deadlines like Monday ang usa unya ang usa Wednesday pero kani jud amo akay as in sila tanan ipass jud sila kanang sa Sunday jud sila jud tanan so para nako nag-pile up na jud ni siya ayo gani and kanang kasabot ra sad ko because I think the teachers want nga weekly gani ang pag-optimize sa learning so gan sila nga naa jud mo'y output or makat-unan every week but still con siya because it can add up to the stress and pressure sa students. And lastly, it is draining. Like draining than physical classes. If you think kapoy ang klase sa physical classes, then mas kapoy ang online jud guys. Just imagine sitting in front of your computer or laptop or facing your phone for a couple of hours or worse the whole day pa jud. Magsakit imong liog, imong mata, imong ulo because it's just draining jud guys. And at least man good in physical classes kay pwede ka makigtabi sa imong tupad like uy, nga nang ana din ang buhok ni Miss, ingana, di ba? And there can also be class interaction sad. So, pwede mo mag-activity, ingana. Then, kaning online classes kay wala, lingkod lang jud ka. Pa-flat lang jud ka sa imong lubot og ayo. So, it is not, a draining lang jud siya, kaayo ba? So far, those are the pros and cons that I got. So, your list can be different from mine, but I hope you already have a slight idea on what to expect on your online classes. So we're almost done, guys. We're now on my tips for online classes. I know you can just search these things in the internet na what are the tips for online classes, ganun. But I still hope kani mga personal tips na ako will help you. So tip number 1, ako yung mentioned ganina, do a trial run. Like what I explained to you, it is helpful to check your internet connectivity regardless if nag-mobile data ka or na kay Wi-Fi. And check sa imong gadgets kay naman na limitations imong gadgets like low bat di ay siya or imong laptop kay naunsa na siya. So i-check jud nimo imong internet og imong gadget nga gamiton for the class. This is to lessen disruptions in the middle of the class. And I know there are other factors like weather na maka-affect sa connection, but at the very least, you'll be getting the most out of your classes if you are more prepared. And then tip number 2, I know it is hard to not get distracted, especially if you are using a phone, because everything is there like games, social media. But as much as possible, if you don't want to get left behind or sayang-sayang og oras kay nagtuon lang ang imuha kay wa ka na minaw sa imong maestra, then pay attention to your classes. Eliminate distractions. Turn off chat heads bisag imo pa ng crush ang ni-chat unya na ta mag-chat crush. Notifications from your Mobile Legends kay makahuwat ra na imong new skin, naara jud na siya dira. And do not mind when someone sends you a code for Among Us. Like, oy, kane, BDWX, Among Us ta. No, no, no. Unya na ta mag-Among Us after class. Okay? So, eliminate distractions. Tip number 3, attend your classes if you can as much as possible, especially if you're a dependent learner. Meaning, di nimo kaya ang self, I not really di kaya, like challenging para nimo ang self-studying. So na may lahi-lahi nga different types of learners man ta, na uban nga kaya nila ang self-studying, nasa uban nga dili jud mada ang self-studying, ma'am, kailangan jud ko magpa-explain, ma'am. So if ingana ka type sa learner, you attend your classes as much as possible kay of even though na ay course packs nga gi-provide, you still need the aid of your professors. So dapat kanang sila baya ang kanang expert ani nga mga topics, so you have to listen to them. So don't get lazy and attend your classes. And then tip number 4, manage your time. Balik na ni siya, but manage your time. This is also important even in physical classes. But now that everything is online, you should make extra effort to manage your time because of course, Video meetings are not for everyone. So materials will just be given to you, and it's your task now to accomplish all of them. So manage your time. The tip number 5, help each other. This is not the time to work on your own. I think it would be beneficial to you and your classmates if you help each other out, like send resources, updates from the class, or even share answers. So just communicate with your classmates because it helps you mentally, emotionally, like the support you get from each other, and also you could optimize learning. And now for the UP High tips. Yay! So I wanted to share specific instead of general tips because I really want to make sure nga mga gamit niya akong mga gipangtabi karon today. So let's start for the grade 7 students. If there are any of them watching, do not pressure yourself. I know you are new. Everything in UP High is new to you. Upa ka baon sa idagan sa exams, sa recitations, sa grading, but do not pressure yourself. Like, UP man ko, uy, dapat ka nang magnanig ko ayo. No, no, no. You don't um, do it that way. Take the time to adjust. Okay? In order for you to survive, you have to familiar yourself first with how everything is done in UP High. So, mo na akong sayop pag grade 7 na akong pressure na ako ang self. Unya, ang nahitabo kay wala, gahagbong-hagbong lang ako mga grados. Do not pressure yourself, guys. I wish I could give you more specific tips, but just don't pressure yourself. Yet. Not yet. So for graded students, that's the time you'll start siguro feeling the stress and pressure, but just don't get lazy. Submit outputs para at least naibasihan sa imong grades. Then study for your exams too para makapasar pud ka ginagmay. Like, pahat magbitay basta nakapasar. You have to study because your teachers in UP High will give you exams nga kanang naay topics nga ila ra jud gi-discuss. Di man na sila magpataka og kanang hatag lang og exam guys nga wala nila gi-discuss. So ask for their PPTs like, Ma'am, sir, good morning. Pwede mangayo sa imong PPT. If that helps, di na sila mamaak, guys. Promise. Just ask them nicely. And then for grade 9 students, dedicate a little extra effort for academics, especially if you have plans in going to UP College. Of course, you will take the UPCAT. I mean, kamutan and required man na. And in order for you to pass, you have to get good grades plus good scores in the exam. And the grades that will be considered for the computation of your UP grade are from grade 9, 10, and 11. So meaning, karong grade 9 na mo, mamuhuna na mo sa inyong grado dapat ana if gaay mo mag UP College pohon. Okay? For grade 10 students, time management is the key. I'm not sure this year if you have the thesis or research, but if naa man gani, if you have, that will definitely eat most of your time as well. Kay dako-dako ba nga trabaho ang research guys, taas-taas na siyang process. So manage your time well because aside from research, there will be more requirements from you and you have to retain good grades to be able to continue senior high school in UP High. So aside sa research, daghan pa mga papers na pangayoon kay lagi last daghan na sud nag requirements ana nga year. For grade 11 students, manage your time well also. Okay, based on my experience and gipakita man sa jud ni Alex ganina no nga grade 11 has a more hectic schedule than grade 12. Para lang ako mas daghan mo vacant sa inyong grade 12 kasi sa inyong grade 11 like usay pa grade 11 good half day ra ang ubang klase pero kay naghilak mi sud sa classroom kay wala nagklase pa mi so mas hectic ang grade 11 well, just based on my experience. Now you might also have college professors so you don't know how demanding they can be when it comes to output. So base na uban nga bago pa gani naghatag og output hatag na sa dingana kay mga college lahi naman sa ang pamaagi sa college. And also get good grades for UPCAT. And lastly, for grade 12, I know there's a lot of pressure on you now because of UPCAT. Plus, there's also thesis for grade 12. I'm not just sure, but there is thesis for grade 12. But don't forget about other things, especially yourself. Have college plans not limited to UP. Like, yes, UP is a dream, but please take entrance exams to other schools. And take also the scholarships even if it is not for your strand. Like ako, ABM ko, but ni-take jud ko sa DOST kay for backup lang gani nga na mas maayo nga na kay backup kaysa sa magtanga lang jud ka. Okay? So more importantly, enjoy because college is gonna hit different. I tell you. Okay? And lastly, for everyone, every student sa UP High, study for exams lang jud and submit outputs, guys, kay ara naman jud i-base tanan ninyong grades. Like dili mo ka blame jud sa inyong teachers kay kamo ra man po naghatag sa inyong grades. So study for exams and submit outputs. Okay, I think that's the last. In conclusion, this school year is going to be extra tough given that we have shifted to remote learning, which includes online classes. So kita jud I don't know, but struggle sa jud ko karon sa akong online classes because generally online classes are difficult to keep up with. Well, at least for me because in my 6 years in UP High, dili ko reliant on gadgets when it comes to learning. Kay since students are not allowed to bring gadgets jud inside the campus, dili lang during classes, inside the campus jud. So once itunob na imong tiil sa campus, violation na nga nagdaka og gadget. So dapat imong cellphone ibili nimo sa gawas kay para di ka ma-violation, okay? Without academic purposes. So I am used to hard copies and writing notes. So if magtuon ko na jud kay hard copy, dili jud kanang sa digital gani bisag na yung mga PPTs. So with online classes, I highly suggest that you determine what works well for you. Find alternatives and maximize your time and resources. So that would be the end of my presentation. I hope I gave you useful insights today. If you have questions or concerns or anything, kachika, kachat, kaya ko kachat, guys, do not hesitate to message me on Facebook, Ren Sokahel. And thank you guys for listening.
Thank you so much, Miss Ren. So, nakita dyan nato no na how online learning is done sa UP Visayas. I hope you all listened kay basin maupod ang setup sa UP High. And I also hope na you put into mind the tips na gihatag sa atong speakers, especially katong how to survive in UP High kay makatabang to nato as we transition to this kind of learning. So, at this juncture, mag-open forum na sad ka. If you have any questions, type them in the chat box. Or you can unmute yourself if you want to ask the question yourself.
Come on, guys. Gusto mo, guys.
Any questions, guys?
Promise, hindi ako mamaa. Especially for grade 7 students and new grade 11 students. You're welcome, guys.
Other than I question dire.
Yeah.
I think the other speakers can answer too. I just want